Scattered showers and thunderstorms from multiple areas across the mid-Atlantic region and the Ohio Valley. Michael here to give you an update on the latest on what's going on out there in the weather community. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right into it. So wind going to be moving across areas of the East Coast. As you can see, we actually have a tornado warning. This is the area that I wanted to watch out for. If you haven't checked out the earlier video, go check it out. But this is a tornado warning. This is the area that I've been watching out for. We have a tornado warning that's going to expire actually in 2 minutes. So that tornado is probably gone. It looks like from radar. We're not even seeing. We'll actually have to turn on velocity to see that, just to make sure. But just a very strong storm that's happening in that region right there. We do have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect from Lexington, swinging up north towards Parkersburg, and then flash flood warnings in effect in between those areas, as well as a severe thunderstorm warning west of St. Louis. Severe weather in Denver. There's a severe thunderstorm watch for this area. It expires at 11 p.m. I think that's Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's been a lot of rotation, and I would assume some of these are tornado reports. This is going to be a wall cloud report, funnel cloud report, wall cloud. So we did get one funnel cloud report in one of those locations. We still have more over here. Let's see. Wall cloud report, but we do have a lot going on down here by Myrtle Beach. We have some showers and thunderstorms. They've been hanging out around here. We can just show you what's happened in the past. Look at these line of storms. They're going to continue to move throughout the night, and that's just something we're going to be looking at the moment. So what do we have here? We have our chance of severe weather. Sort of as the day ends, as you can see, it's sort of switched and things like that. Slight risk around Virginia Beach and Roanoke. Marginal all the way to St. Louis and east of Denver. Going to have a slight risk and a marginal risk in effect there. Tornado risk. Going to be in that area dealing with those tornadoes more than likely in that region. Now for tomorrow, things get interesting. For the south, we have a slight risk. This is going to include areas like Charlotte, Asheville, Greenville, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Johnson City, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, and Raleigh. Marginal risk going to be surrounding those sections. Oklahoma City going to have a slight risk of severe weather that's going to be around Sioux Falls and things like that of that nature. Now, tornado risk going to be around Sioux Falls this time. Wind threat going to be in those areas around North Carolina, eastern Tennessee. You have a wind threat as well. Hail threat going to be around Sioux Falls. Favorability of severe weather is possible in these areas. So tomorrow, that's what we're looking like. Make sure you have a way to get those alerts. Wouldn't be surprised if this changes by tomorrow. You know, it can change. So we're going to look at that for the middle part of the country. Omaha, Kansas City, Des Moines, Davenport, Kearney. Slight risk of severe weather, probabilistic, going to be the same area. Although they've already got a dashed line here for that risk. So we'll wait and see until the day rolls around on Tuesday. That's going to be August 18th. But a dashed line is already in effect for that area right there. So that's quite interesting. Now, as we look at our outlooks, we're going to look at the Weather Prediction Center, see the favorability of rain that's going to be happening. This is going to be mainly around West Virginia, east of Huntington. We're going to have that moderate risk of flooding today, but for tomorrow, mainly, we're looking at a slight risk, moderate in some sections, slight risk north of Kansas City. So, going to be a lot of rain, not as moderate as today, but we're going to see that rainfall. Remember, any shifts could happen. And National Hurricane Center, we have nothing going on in the Atlantic, actually. And then we have Tropical Storm Lala moving out of Hawaii's way. This is going to be out the way in just a second. Going to turn into a hurricane and then possibly go for those smaller islands that are in that region. But that storm's going to be done with the islands of Hawaii momentarily. Some areas to watch, 50% here. There's probably another 50% there. Yeah, 50% there. So tropical weather outlook. Not going to be dealing with that. Heat advisories for multiple sections. The whole state of Florida was under heat advisories, but that's gone now. But that's extended to areas of Raleigh, I think, or I'm not sure. Heat alerts all over the place, though. As you can see, severe thunderstorm watches in effect, severe thunderstorm warnings, flash flood watches, flash flood warnings in these regions, rip current statements near New York. Extreme heat warnings. Once again, we have no red flag warnings to talk about here, but we do have air quality alerts in the northwest. It's going to be near Seattle and Portland. Now, we do have a fire risk for day 2. This is going to be around northeastern California, northwestern Nevada, and southern Oregon that you're going to be dealing with that elevated fire risk in that region there. Going to be wind, as you can see for that, it's going to be for tomorrow on your Monday, August 17th. This month is actually winding down, and we're going to get closer and closer to September. Here's a look at your temperature outlook, and finally, we're seeing above average temperatures in the northern parts, but a lot of above average temperatures remain for areas of the south, as you can see there at the bottom. So that's right here. These are going to be your dates along that down there. Towards Texas, you're really going to have above average temperatures. Now, as far as precipitation, areas of the western part of the country, you're going to be above average precipitation. New England region, you're going to be above average precipitation. In the southern parts, you're below average precipitation there. As we continue on, relatively the same sort of idea in the same areas, although Seattle for the month is going to be below average precipitation on that level there. So if you look at our radar, this is our national radar. We talked about those tornado warnings in effect. As you can see, just a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity that will be possible for those areas, and we're going to continue to see this sort of thing. Now, let's talk about the heat and the temperatures right now. In Dallas, it's 100 degrees, and it's 8 p.m. in Dallas-Fort Worth. So just think about it. I think that's what the GFS is trying to tell us here, but that's hot temperatures for this time in the night. And as you can see, as the sun's coming out, that's just very hot temperatures. As you can see, the GFS keeps moving here on your Monday. We're going to have 100 degrees in Atlanta, near 100 in Charleston if it wasn't 100 there already. 70s in effect, 70s, 100s, 70s in the northern parts, 100s in the south. But we're starting to quiet down on the hot weather. Like, as you can see, the hot weather is there for the model runs, but we're starting to cool down in the northern parts, as you can see here, to Detroit and things like that of that nature. We're getting to the level of, this can just load here. But otherwise, you get the point. It's going to be 100 degrees in multiple spot. Heat index is as high as 115 degrees. That's something we got to look out for. Of course, avoid heat stroke and things like that. Make sure you're taking the precautions. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Summer is going to come to an end shortly for many areas across the south. So these hot temperatures, hopefully not going to be expecting to stick around for long. They're going to be for an extended period of time right now. But as we look into the future, we can be looking at some cold conditions and things like that of that nature. We just got to get there, and we're gonna make it there eventually, guys. We're gonna make it there eventually. So high temperatures expected for these areas. As far as our precipitation, which we haven't looked at the GFS model to see what's going on. And when I look at this, and honestly, we're not gonna see much, because there's just, if I can just get to the, well, this is the rain map. But we haven't looked at the precipitation that much from the GFS model. But honestly, when we look at the tropics, there's just not really anything to look out at the moment that's going to be interesting. We have a lot of wind shear, a lot of Saharan dust, things like that of that nature that are causing these storms, luckily and fortunately, to not move to our area. But this is the GFS model. We have an area of low pressure kind of hanging out there. It's going to continue to moving away from the United States. And this is not loading quite well, and I don't know if it's stuck in this loop or... We're going to see if we can move this to... Let's look at the 12Z just to look at it, though. I want to see if that changes anything. But the 12Z... I don't think these model runs are loaded for me yet. I have to load them. But we're going to be expecting some shower and thunderstorm activity that is going to be... Not sure why. It should just move forward. But shower and thunderstorm activity expected from many areas along the East Coast, the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, the Ohio Valley, New England. Showers and thunderstorms in the south central part of the United States, you're going to expect hot temperatures. It's basically going to be the same pattern for multiple days in a row. We're going to expect it. Now, here for Tropical Storm Lala, as I said before, this is going to be exiting areas of Hawaii. Been a lot of things that have happened, a lot of power outages and things like that. So hopefully conditions will be better there in the future. But my name is Mike here to give you an update on the latest on what's happening out there in the weather community. I'll see you out there in the weather community. Have a great rest of your Sunday and stay safe.